Exorcisms. I have experienced many myself, and I have performed quite a few for other people. So I want to take away the stigma and the fear around exorcism because it can actually be such an incredible thing. Hello, everyone. I am Carrie, your host for the No Bullshit Spirituality podcast. And I'm here to give you my real and raw and honest accounts of what spirituality really is, what it feels like, what it looks like, the gruesomeness of it, the greatness of it, because I want to make spirituality simple for everybody, and I want to bring it into normality, and I want people to not have any stigma around it anymore. Because it is one of the greatest things, when we find our truth, when we have the courage to step up and be who it is that we came here to be. I know it sounds like a bit of a cliche, but bloody hell, that's why we're here. So anyway, I'm sharing my realness around my spiritual path, and to try and dust off some cobwebs for other people, so that you can get used to it as well. Anyway, today's topic, exorcism. There, said it. It's out there. Okay, so when I say this word, what do you think? You probably have got, I don't know, some gruesome and awful images going around in your head, right? As most people would, and I don't blame you. But it's not like that, right? Exorcisms. I have experienced many myself, and I have performed quite a few for other people. Don't worry, no demonic head spinning scenarios were performed, I promise you. So I want to take away the stigma and the fear around exorcism because it can actually be such an incredible thing when you're no longer walking around with said entity hanging on to you. You can actually feel really incredible. So I want to clear up these misconceptions about what exorcism actually is, what one might look like, and just make it a bit more normal, if that's possible. Because is it ever? Yeah, it is normal. Well, it's normal for me. It's normal in my life because I'm so involved in them. I don't batter an eyelid anymore. I mean, there's not much really that shocks me anymore. Like I said, I've been on this path for quite some time. I live a very esoteric life. Anyway, so the best way, as always, to describe something so far-fetched for some is through story. So I'm going to share a story with you. My most recent exorcism, actually, will be the story of today. So when you're sitting comfortably, I will begin. Right. So those of you who have been working with me or followed me for any length of time, you will know that one of the biggest things that I dealt with last year during my 30 days of ayahuasca was I had to relive my death wish. The not wanting to exist in this world, the not wanting to come into this world, not wanting to manifest and incarnate as this human being, that not wanting to be here was living inside of me, in my cells. And the plant medicine, she made me relive that so that I could remove that death wish from my being, so that I was free of it, so that I could actually want to bloody live. Quite horrific that was, but I did it. And there was me, silly me, thinking that was over. But as always, with spirituality, when you deal with one layer, the next layer is ready to come up. And should you choose to accept it, then you can deal with the next one. So you can imagine my surprise when this year I found myself still waking up with that sense of, what's the point of today? Like, every day is the same. When am I ever going to get out of this rut? When is my life ever going to change? I don't see a way out. Like, I genuinely believed these things. I had this disbelief in myself, in my ability to create my life. I had this incredible sense of apathy, of just wanting to give up. Like, I kept saying to my friends, if this is my life, then I don't want it. I want out. And I really thought that I was past this death wish. So I was very, very confused. You know, I wasn't showing up as the true version of me to my friends, to my clients. I wasn't offering my true services to my clients. I wasn't doing what it is that I bloody my heart and my soul was yearning for me to do. I just kept pushing myself through this autopilot, through this Groundhog Day, believing that that was it and that there was nothing else. And something else that I'll share with you, bit too much information, but this is really, really important. For the last couple of years, I have found it very difficult. For the last couple of years, I've had issues with going to the toilet. There, said it. A lot of constipation. Sometimes I wouldn't go for 5, 6, 7 days. And this wasn't just like, you know, once every couple of months. I'm talking like every couple of weeks. Like it was clockwork. I wouldn't be able to go. I'd have to get help going. Then I'd go. I'd be all right for a couple of days and then I'd stop again. And you can imagine like the toxin buildup. You can imagine how my bowels felt, how my mood was. My kidneys weren't flushing. My liver wasn't able to filter. Everything was slow. Everything was heavy. You know, my mood was getting bogged down, not only with all of the crap that was building up, but also with the feelings of, am I that useless that I can't even shit? You know, like I really thought that there was no way out, and this went on for a couple of years, and I tried so many different angles. I'd looked at so many things. You know, was it stress? Was I holding on? What was I not letting go of? Was it overwhelm? Like we looked under so many different rocks and tried so many different solutions, but still it wasn't happening. I wasn't going regularly and I wasn't going freely. This is important. It's part of it. Anyway, and I just felt fucking infested, if I'm honest. I felt absolutely disgusting. And you can imagine all of the bad habits that come along with feeling so toxic and so rancid. My eating habits were bad. My sleep patterns were bad. Just my thought patterns were horrific because obviously I'm bunged up with all of this crap. And I just knew something went right. Anyway, a couple of weeks ago, I supported Peter Aziz, my shaman, on one of his workshops, a sound healing workshop. And I ended up having an impromptu sound healing exorcism from him. he was doing the sounds on other people, and as he was making these sounds, I was like, "Oh, Peter, something's moving in my stomach." And he was like, "Oh, let's have a look at you then." And I mean, I'm clairvoyant, right? So I could see this entity in my belly as he was making these sounds. And this entity, it was old and it was coming up from a grave, not just like a normal grave, like I'm talking like ancient, like deep, deep, deep in the earth grave. And he was like proper zombie like, and like my vividness, but this is what I saw. Anyway, I'm very visual with my clairvoyancy. Anyway, so he's coming up, and he doesn't want to come out of the grave. He does not want to come out, but all this sludge is coming up, all these worms are coming up, all of this stagnant, toxic, infested is coming up around him, but he won't come out. Anyway, right, Peter's like, that's the ancestor that has been causing all of your issues in your bowels. He doesn't want to come out. And I'm like, get him out. Obviously, I've not got any issues with these things. Anyway, so Peter did what he needed to do with the sound healing to pull him out, and I could see that he'd finally gone, this troublesome ancestor. And when I looked at him, you know, I could see how heavy he was, how stuck he was, stagnant, toxic. He himself was infested, you know, and he had been an ancestor who had not believed in anything beyond the grave. He believed that once you died, that was it. He was so skeptical, so cynical, so unbelieving, you know, and so stubborn, so rigid. that he was the one that had been creating this stagnancy in me, this disbelief in my abilities, my magic in me. I had been walking around with him and his issues inside of me, because that's how it works when you take on ancestral issues. More about that in a moment. So anyway, I woke up the next day and I felt utterly awful. I felt like I had the biggest hangover from hell. So this is a healing crisis, right? So my head was pounding, my body ached, so everything was hot, cold. I couldn't sit still yet. I didn't want to move. Like, I felt utterly, utterly awful. And what was happening was, because we'd pulled this ancestor out, my body was finally free to start ejecting all of the toxins that I'd been holding on to because of him. So my body was catapulted into this healing crisis, a bit like a hangover. You know, you drink, and then the next day you're hungover because your body's like, I gotta get rid of this shit. Like, what did you do to me? So when I finally got over like the worst of it, my life instantly changed. Now, I've had several exorcisms in my time, well, more than several, I've had loads. Some have been quite dramatic, but yet not really, I didn't feel much had changed. Some have happened and I didn't even know they'd happened because I didn't feel it and didn't really notice any difference. But this one, instantly, my life improved. First up, I couldn't eat, which is actually a good thing because my body was like, okay, I need to majorly detox. So you, my love, are not eating anything apart from a papaya because I need the enzymes, because I need to upgrade you. So my body has been upgrading itself on a cellular DNA level, not been able to eat. So that's me purging and cleansing from the inside. And then my immediate surroundings. I literally, how do I describe this? I literally cannot stomach being around anything that matched the vibration of me whilst I was still harboring him. Now that I'm free of him, anything that doesn't align with my new frequency, it has to go. And when I say I can't stomach it, I mean, like, I feel physically nauseous around things that are out of alignment, whether that be clothes, pictures, memorabilia. I have blitzed my kitchen, got rid of all of the plastic and the Tupperware and everything like that. I've gone through all my drawers, like everything that I was holding on to as a just in case, everything that reminded me of someone who, why I don't want that person in my life, and gone. Like, it feels great. You know, things that I've been harboring or things that I've been keeping because I don't have something else. Like, I don't know, like the bathroom mat. I've got that because, well, that was the only one they had in the shop at the time. Well, I don't like it. Get rid of it. You know, like just not tolerating. That's it. I've gone through my place and looked at what am I tolerating, because I'm no longer here for tolerating. My sense of self-worth and sense of self-value have catapulted through the roof. I am looking at things so differently in my life now. Like, how do I say it? My sense of self-value has increased, that it is causing me to reassess everything in my life. Not only just the physical things that I accept in my environment, but even my home. I'm like, no, actually, this isn't where I want to live. So why am I living here? I don't want to live in this area. I don't want to live suburban. I know what I want. So why am I tolerating staying here? Why am I not going after what it is that I want? You know, other examples, though. I think about where I buy my food. Not that I'm eating at the moment, but I think about where I buy my food. I can't even dream of going back to the same places to buy my food because, oh, it just makes my stomach turn. My working habits, no, That's not how I want my life to be. I won't go back to that way of being. I won't go back to that routine. It doesn't align with what I'm worthy of. It doesn't align with what I'm creating for myself. The jewelry that I wear, the clothes that I wear, what does that say about me? Again, I'm just tolerating them because that's what's in my wardrobe. No, I'm having to, yet again, reassess my boundaries. What is and is not okay? Like how I treat myself and how other people treat me as well. The way I think about money, the way I feel about spending money, what I'm willing to spend money on, what I allow other people to take from me. That's a big one right now. Like, I'm seeing very, very clearly now energy drains from people because I didn't set the boundary, because I didn't say no in the first place. And the most biggest and exciting one is my future, my dreams. Now, I thought I knew what I wanted, right? But now I'm wondering, to what degree were those desires, those wants, those dreams limited because of the stagnancy, the toxicity, the heaviness that I was harboring because of him, the disbelief, the limitation or the limiting belief in how far I can go, in my potential. So now I have to take a really long, hard look. Now that I'm free of all of this crap, I have to really go inside and remind myself or reconnect to that future version of me, to that childlike version of me, and ask myself, where is it that I'm going? What is it that I truly want for myself? Have I been lying to myself all this time because I've been so bogged down with all of this crap? That's exciting, to think that my dreams are going to grow and they're actually going to change. And I can't wait to take the time out. And I'm literally doing that. I'm going to go away, turn everything off to do with internet and connection with the world. And I'm just going to sit in a hammock and think about what it is that I want for my life. Because that's how you do. You need to create the space. In order to connect to yourself, to your dreams, you have to create the space. How do I really want to feel every single day of my life? And what do I want it to look like? How do I want to live? What do I want to be doing? And yes, I know you're asking the question to yourself, and the answer is yes. I have been pooping like a trooper since said naughty ancestor has been removed. Thank goodness. But absolute relief in that I found the issue to the problem, and now it's no longer a problem. So now that's my story. Let's go into a little bit more around exorcism, what it is etc. Ancestors, blah 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 blah. Right. So ancestors, why are they an issue with your tummy? When you form as a fetus, the first thing to form is your intestines. Why? Because you need to be able to take the food from the mother to feed the development of the rest of the fetus, right? So your intestines are the first thing to form. If there are going to be any ancestral issues that are going to be passed down the line, your intestines will be the first thing to get them. So all ancestral issues are seated in the intestines. So that's why if you've got tummy problems such as intolerances, maybe you've got digestive issues, maybe you have bloating, maybe you have allergies, then there's the potential that there's some issues, that some ancestral issues going on in the intestines. Because when we have ancestors hanging on, we can pick up, and because one of the ways that ancestors can affect us, if they have passed down their problems to us, then we literally take on board their issues, their thought forms, their challenges, their curses, etc., etc. So that's where working with ancestors and removing any ancestral issues that you might have stuck in the intestines can be really, really beneficial. Not only do ancestors affect your digestive system, but obviously it can also manifest as things like bad luck or, you know, things not working out, or mindset issues, belief issues, limitations, whatever it is. We need to get rid of those pesky ancestors so that you're free of them. And so how do we get rid of them? And that is through exorcism. So what is exorcism? I mean, this word, right, it's got a bit of a connotation, but ultimately it's just removal of an unwanted entity. I mean, it might be, and the entity might be an ancestor, it might be a spirit, it might be a demon, it might be some other life form. Just need to get rid of it. And how you get rid of it will depend on the practitioner who's getting rid of it, their skills, their tools, and also what you're up for. But if you have an entity attached to you or in you for whatever reason, then they will be impacting your thoughts, your choices, your patterns, your behaviors, your lifestyle. They'll be impacting your physical body, your energetic body, basically how your life looks. When you remove them, you are one step closer to becoming the conscious creator of your life, because they're not making those unconscious choices on your behalf. Then they don't have any say in how you're showing up in the world and what choices you're going to make. So as I said, how does it work? It depends on the practitioner. It depends on what tools and skills that they have. Does it hurt? Well, I don't know. I'm not you. I've had many. Some have hurt. Some, as I said, I didn't even know had happened. But most of them, no, they don't hurt at all. They just go, and as long as you're working with a decent practitioner, that is, of course, they remove the entity with the ways that they have, and you may or you may not feel it on the way out, and you may or you may not feel some healing crisis as a result. It just depends, really. It depends on how bad it was and how badly they were impacting you, how long they've been there. So it's just really hard to describe. It's hard to explain because it's not one size fits all. So is exorcism something to be feared? Absolutely bloody not. It's a blessing if you ask me. Especially, I can say that especially now. I mean, as I said, I've been working with exorcism for years, particularly with the plant medicine work as well. But after that one on Saturday, I have never felt such an instant change in my psyche, in my outlook, in my perception. It was literally like someone had taken off a blindfold and I could finally see the lie that I had been living. As you can tell, I'm still quite shocked and amazed by it. I'm very happy about it. So yes, exorcisms, are they to be feared? Absolutely not. They are a blessing if you ask me. And if you are curious about whether you have some ancestral issues, then absolutely get in contact with me, because this is definitely something I can help you with. It is definitely something I can support you with in terms of healing it. Or do be afraid and come and ask me anyway, and then I'll talk you through it. I'll work through it with you. But exorcism services are available here. How ridiculous does that sound? No, basically, I'm able to work with you to have a look, to see what's going on for you, and then to see if any said naughty ancestors need removing, or maybe any other entity that might be lurking around. Like I said, I'm real, I'm raw, I'm honest, I'm not hiding anything from you. This is it. This is how it works. And if you are curious, I want to know. Send me your questions, send me your symptoms, whatever it is that you want to do. And if this has helped you in any way, please do let me know. If you think somebody else is going to enjoy this episode, please do share it on. I hope you have subscribed to my podcast. I hope that you're joining my mailing list. You get more and more of my weird and wonderful stories that I live throughout my very esoteric, weird and wonderful life. And that's it from me for this time. Please give me a subscribe, a like, a ding, a thumbs up, and all of that jazz. It would really, really help me. And if you want to hear me talk about anything in particular, if you've got a question, do let me know. Thank you so much, my friends. I can't wait to speak to you next time. Here's to you having a wonderfully joyous life, consciously choosing the one that you want and not living the one that you've been told to have. Because we are the creators of our reality. My friends, until the next episode, take care.